Hello, hello. Yeah, great. You can hear me. So, to begin with, thank you very much that you came here because it's been second day of this conference. Some of you are leaving today, some of you a little bit under hangover probably, which is also okay. So thank you very much for being here today, hearing this speech, and I hope it will be very useful for all of you. So, if talk a little bit about myself, I'm a program and delivery manager, and I have management backgrounds in the beginning of my career. I belong to those people who have background in management, studied management, and everything that I do in my life deals with management. To begin with, please raise your hands if you have ever faced with challenges with your stakeholders. Okay, that makes sense to this presentation and all the slides that we're going to have today. Thank you for that. Lots of people think that the vast majority of our challenges came from budget or from processes, but in most cases, it's all about people, and you know that because you raise the hands that you have problems with that. And our organization, they invest really a lot into giving us more education. We also invest our time into it. However, if we're so intelligent, what is the case that we cannot deal with some troubles? And I would like to refer to consultancy agencies and then saying that in most cases, it's because of lack of engagement or lack of support. And as you see, it's again all about people. And today I would like to share with you one case that happened to me a couple of years ago with my clients, and it cost us really a lot. And my goal here today is not only share this fail, but also to give you some examples how probably you can avoid this in your collaboration with stakeholders, as well as to inspire you and to give at least one idea how you can manage or improve something in your current cases. So, what was the case? I don't know, someone heard about this organizational ambidextrity theory. Do you know what is it? Okay, so I believe some of you work in such type of organization. Our goal was to make an organization where one part is 100% responsible for the delivery and providing cash cow, let's say, to our organization and all money. And another part of organization should be responsible for researches, R&D, and providing some innovations. So that's the case. And we were in a service organization, and we decided to have this theory in action to be more competitive on the market. So if some of you have R&Ds in your organizations, that means you're part of this theory. That's pretty nice. And what happened to us is basically we failed this delivery, and it cost us up to 2.5 million just because of lack of engagement with some of our stakeholders. But this is a disclaimer. I will show you in details how the corporate silence work in this case. It was really challenging case for me. I cannot say basically that we failed it because we actually delivered the result, but again, with 2.5 million budget delays. That's not nice. And lots of people were involved into this change. So this is basically number of stakeholders of this change. And the total size of organization was 2,000 employees. Trust me, it's really hard to make changes at such amount of people. So the root cause and what happened. I would like to refer a little bit to Kurt Levin's model of changes. It's not the theory of change management. It's more about social changes, but it's applicable to changes in organization as well. At the beginning, you always have unfreeze change, and at this stage, you mostly have the biggest resilience as is possible and the biggest desire to decline all the changes from your organization. And we happily passed this stage. So I was really shocked because it took us up to 1 month for the whole organization, and people were agreed to make changes without complaints. That was really nice. But all troubles happened here, and that's basically what I would like to share with you in details. In most cases, I believe in your changes, whether you do it this in your projects or in organization, the vast majority of difficulties happening basically here. I know I'm saying not something unique, but like just to highlight you at which stage you currently are. Okay, so what happened? We faced with passive sabotage, and that's really important to navigate your change. What does it mean? People stopped attending meetings. They declined some meetings. Some people also like saying, hey, I forget that we need to do something. And you may think that this is something that probably might happen. But if you have something like that on a constant basis, that means that something is not working. And this is passive sabotage, as I mentioned before. Decision-making delays also happened. And the reason of those delays were unclear to me because like we have a powerful stakeholders, they're sponsors of this organization and those changes, but like decisions should be made 2 days ago and they're still doing this. We have compliance, so that's not okay. Then rumors start appear that is just another management idea to make this transformation. And that was pretty strange to me because at the beginning we discussed with all the people that, guys, we need this, and everyone say, yeah, we will do that. And we also introduce a new process. But for this process, we upgraded our rewards and recognition system. People start to use the new system and then switched back to the old system. So it was something pretty strange that happened to me. And to highlight, so for the first 5 months, everything was okay. But then it was really immediately, I tracked the decrease in all my parameters and metrics, everything goes down, and I was unclear like what's going on here. And I started to analyze this situation, and trust me, it was pretty hard because no one shared any complaints. It was the first experience in my life that no one is sharing complaints. Like, no like nothing in chat, nothing in feedbacks form, only supportive messages without saying, hey, we don't like it, this is kind of bullshit, guys, what you are doing. I would rather expect to listen something like that and know what to do with that, how to compliance with that, but no. So, and we figure out what basically happened, and this part. So, it's halo effect. It's kind of when you have some people and other people think that those people are so great and unique, so they follow their ideas blindly, kind of like that. And you can't even imagine how I was surprised that I figured out that only 2 people with this halo effect with informal leadership were more powerful than official managers and stakeholders in organization. So those guys, they shared that this is kind of not necessary changes, we don't want to do that, but they never shared it basically to the team that did these changes. So they shared this to their teams shared this to their colleagues, and so on and so far. So guys, never underestimate the power of rumors, never underestimate the power of informal leadership, and never underestimate like that you are not able to identify all the people who should be involved in the process. Then that's inspired me to understand that probably if someone thinks that they are your stakeholders, they really already are, and you should somehow deal with that. So if people think that, hey, you need to inform me, yeah, even if it's not part of their responsibility, you guys have to kind of deal with that and work with those people. And answering the question, is it possible to prevent this? Like identify at early stages? Honestly, I think no. If we're talking about silence, especially this corporate silence, it's not possible to prevent at the beginning because you don't know the information. If you have like this resistance and people sharing, that's at least something you can work with. So it's a great power when people sharing what they don't like. But if they are silent, well, I'm not sure this is an option. So, but at the middle of this case, somehow we were able to navigate this with our team and analyze what happened. And trust me, to share with you the story that 2 people were involved into this sabotage, it took up to 3 months for the team of 15 people to realize this. So what we did, I like this slide because it's basically about 6 main stages of changes. And you may see, if you miss some point, what the results will be of those changes. And I saw that, okay, we had great communication, vision, we removed the barriers, and the problem was in the process. I saw it at the beginning. And I was like, okay, so my symptoms should be like change fatigue and so on. But the symptoms were not basically about this. It was not about answering questions. It was something else. And then I saw to this slide again, and I was like, okay, what are my symptoms? And they were like this, like, was the feeling that this change doesn't matter. And then we figure out with the team, okay, probably the case with communication. That was the first idea that came to our mind, how to change our approach to analyze the root cause of the problem. And another thing that I would like to share with you is what happened with me and helped me to analyze what's going on when I have no any data or statistics where I can refer what's going on wrong in my organization. So it's basically take problems, choose. What does that mean? It's not my idea. I stole this from organizational theory, guys. So what they're doing? So you literally putting on the trouble on yourself, and you write down what I feel, what I think, like what I need, and so on as a problem. So not my attitude to the problem, but me as a problem. And you write down all these phenomena, and you may understand some navigation where something is wrong. That is really helpful when you have not only troubles in your organization, but when you have also troubles like with your project, for example. And I did this exercise by myself. And I thought that probably I'm crazy because this is kind of like, I don't know, it was pretty strange, I mean, to see something like that in my results. And I did this exercise together with the team and figure out that, okay, we have some common items like communication. And then we switched to the another facilitation with the team, like Minto pyramid principle. This is a tool that mostly used in communication. When you have this top-down approach, this helps you to structure your message to the organization. But when it's from up to down, it helps you to analyze different approaches, what's going on in communication. So that was pretty simple. We spent some time with our team to do this exercise like from bottom up. And we again figure out that something deals with communications. At this point, we figure out that probably something deals with rumors as well. We were, okay, rumors, communications, probably someone is trying to sabotage their organization from inside. So what we did after, and I hope this will be useful cases for you. First of all, check if your team is ready for any changes. I know it sounds pretty simple, and we did this at the beginning. And we saw that we are so smart, we're gonna check everything at the beginning, at the middle, and then at the end if everything was okay. Lessons learned, it's better to do those checks after each huge delivery of progress. Because if team is super excited at the beginning, it doesn't mean they have a lot of energy after 6 or 8, 9, 10 months. So check if your team is ready for the changes at each stage. Monitor the silence trends as well. So what is about? Who is not answering your emails? Or who is answering for a long time, who should be speaking on your meetings, but they are not speaking. That, for example, you have a constant level of complaints from your team members, and then it rapidly decreases. This is silence trends. Monitor it, find out figure out what is your phenomena in this case, and try to track them, and build strong coalition for changes. I would like to highlight here as well that coalition is not obviously your stakeholders in your changes. Coalition might be some people who is your kind of early adopters of your changes, or for example, people who are ambassadors of your changes. And in our case, it was also very useful because exactly with those people, I was able to figure out the trouble with other two people who were trying to, to change the organization from inside. So strong coalition, and what I did also, this coalition was at each level in organization and in each department. So I have really a number of people from bottom to up and from like in different directions, so they can help me and advise what's going on. This is very useful when you're doing organizational changes. Regarding tools that probably might be useful for you is this ATCAR change model. I decided not to dive deep into this model and how you can use it. Like there are plenty of information in internet, but you can do this analysis by yourself and then try to do it with your team. And you will realize what the huge difference between your expectation, how team understands the problem, and you are. So really, I encourage you to try this case and also check the political temperature in your organization. As I mentioned before, who is not talking but should, who is avoiding responsibility when they are responsible for something. This is the cases that you have to track. And again, I would like to highlight coalition, building this coalition, identifying those people. And what's great about coalition and building this ambassadors program, for example, it's not necessarily should be the most powerful people in organization or people with the greatest titles, for example. As I mentioned before, don't underestimate the value of just people who are working in your organization, those people who can really support you in all your processes. And, like sometimes our projects and initiatives, they fail because someone just quietly say, yeah, I'm not doing that. And that's basically the main trouble. So I really encourage you to think that this silence is an opportunity for you. Try to identify it. Put all of your efforts into that, because otherwise you may end as we did with 2.5 million. Trust me, that's not the best case. I mean, I was very lucky that my stakeholders were very supportive and decided to complete the change. However, the cost of this change was really not so positive, let's say. So try to analyze it, lead it, and I hope that some of those tools are useful for you, or at least you understand how can you manage the resistance that you have right now in your organization. Thank you so much for your time. I'm really great that you're here, and let's get in touch. If you would like to, I will be more than happy to answer all of your questions. Thank you so much.